And welcome to another interesting conversation here at the Inclusive Africa Conference 2023. I am your host, Alan Hubbard, and this second day of the conference we are continuing to have conversations around accessibility and inclusion of persons with disabilities. Joining me for this conversation, very first time on our podcast, this that podcast, but this is a person that I have known for quite some time now in disability related work. I'm gonna be giving her an opportunity to introduce herself, and we'll be going into the conversation swiftly, and she's going to be telling us what she thinks of the conference thus far. And she was moderating a panel. Yes, she's going to be telling us what the panel was about and what they were talking about, and we're going to be weighing in on it as well. So without further ado, kindly introduce yourself and tell us, how is the conference thus far?
Thank you so much, Alan. My name is Alice Mundia, the chairperson of Differently Talented Society of Kenya, and also a member of the board of United Disabled Persons of Kenya, UDPK, which is the umbrella body of persons with disability in Kenya. Yeah. And I'm glad to be here.
Thank you very much, Madam Alice. In the capacity of, let's just go straight into it. At the conference, in which capacity do you come at the conference, and what is your experience thus far?
Thank you so much. I was one of the speakers. I was a moderator of one of the panels that was discussing neurodiverse innovations. Neurodiverse innovations and inclusion. So how technology and innovations are playing a key role in enabling persons with neurodiverse disabilities to be able to live within the community, to be able to learn skills, to be able to function within the community on an equal basis as others. Yes.
Before we go extensively into the conversation of the panel, thus far, what is your experience of the conference? Because I believe, aside from moderating, you've been able to interact with different conference attendees, and you've been able to also jump rooms and go into other sessions. What do you make of the conference thus far?
Thank you, Alan. The conference has been one of the most well-organized conferences I've attended. A lot of networking, a lot of discussions around accessibility, a lot of discussions around innovations, a lot of discussions around assistive technologies.
Absolutely.
Yes. So it's been a nice event to attend, and also a good place to be. Yes.
I hope I'm not putting you on the spot on this one. Which are some of the amazing innovations that you've come across?
There was quite some discussion, like when we were discussing about neurodiverse disabilities. We were discussing about noise cancelling headphones. We were discussing about text to speech. We were discussing about innovations like that are more simplified in nature, like having persons with neurodiverse disabilities use letter boards, visual boards, things like that. Yes.
And given that you have decided to focus more about the neurodivergent community,
but I know a lot has been discussed also around persons with who are blind and persons who are visually impaired. And I know we were taken through by Google on many applications, from talk to speech. A lot of applications that are being currently used, and innovations that have also happened within the current year. Yes, that is very transforming.
Interesting there. Now, your panel was diverse because it had players from different countries. Would you paint a picture for us? What are some of the concerns that were raised from some of the panelists that were on your panel?
There was some good discussion coming from Microsoft on the applications that they have designed that can be used by persons with neurodiverse disabilities. And also appreciating that the existing applications like Microsoft Word is one of key innovations. Of course, it hasn't happened today, but key innovations that allow persons also with neurodiverse disabilities, autism, learning disabilities to be able to type in, and where they struggle with reading and writing, they can actually be able to type in work and participate within the classroom setup, participate at home. They can be able to participate online, just like everyone else. applications that handle matters relating to communication,
Yeah.
you know. So there was a lot of discussion around various things and various interventions that are, of course, technology based.
Yeah.
Of course, we also had one of the participants from Zimbabwe,
Yeah.
who gave also his experience, and who gave us some insights into barriers that persons with neurodiverse disabilities
Yeah.
experience when it comes to access to technologies. And our colleague Veronica, also coming from down south in Namibia, and she had some also very good insights on creative ways that you can be able to use to also teach your learners. And she had some nice letterboards, and she took us through spelling to communicate, which I found very interesting. And it's something that caregivers and of course the school system can be able to develop, because you need to use local materials, and they'll be useful also for training persons with neurodiverse disabilities, and especially the children. Yes.
From the panel, after all that has been said and done, what are some of seem to be the easily doables? Allow me use the word easily doables, because the journey of inclusion is a little bit longer.
Yes.
And that's why most people do not decide to take that journey. But you need to start it at a particular point. So when I ask about easily doables, because I believe the journey needs to start as soon as possible. Which are some of the things that the panel sort of concluded on, or they sort of agreed on and said these are first steps that people from the neurodivergent community can start doing immediately, so that accessibility is a little bit easier for them.
One of the key issues is the issues that were raised around various technologies. And I remember Sophie from Microsoft saying, wow, I like that, and this is an area we need to look into and ensure that it's more inclusive. There's also, as I've said, innovations that are not necessarily tech-based, but that are innovative, and you can create from the materials that are locally available, like communicate, ability to be able to use letterboards, and various pictorial diagrams or pictorial boards to be able to teach learners with autism. And I thought these are things that we can locally be able to do. And also the matters relating to the barriers that persons with neurodiverse disabilities are experiencing to accessing technologies, because sometimes they do not even know what technologies are available. So even discussing about them and having the audience out there listening to us virtually, and of course those who are in the room, of course, changes our mindset and allows us also to include more, because we recognize that most of the designers think more of disabilities that can be seen. But when it comes to the invisible disabilities, you always wonder, how will we be able to include this group of persons whose disabilities are not exactly visible, but who experience difficulties in communication, in social interaction, in social skills. And I think it was a game changer. It's one of the many discussions that probably we'll have. And we'll have an opportunity also to review and to think about it and to see how we can transition and of course make it better. Yes.
Very interesting. There is something that you've said there, and I find it fascinating, because when we hear innovation, so most of the time we tend to think technology.
Yes.
But you say that necessarily, yes, it's an innovation, but there is no technology that is needed. This is something that somebody has just thought out of the box, and they're like, I need to try this in this area or in this perspective and see what kind of results that I am able to get. Given that you are in this space with a mirage of experience, best off of the panel that you had, and best off of what you've seen at the conference thus far, what is what looks more realistic? Because sometimes we have solutions, and sometimes I will be honest, they're far-fetched. But from a lived point of experience, given that you work with caregivers, what are some of the tangibles? What is realistically able to be done?
I would say that we also were able to discuss the challenges that persons with neurodiverse disabilities experience in accessing technology.
Yeah.
The issues of affordability, availability. And so we find that the quick wins is using whatever is available.
Yeah.
You become innovative enough from a local point of view and use whatever is available. It doesn't have to be high technology. It can be low technology, or it can just be other innovations, outside the technology space, to be able to ensure that that we give persons with neurodiversity a space to also be able to learn on an equal basis as others. You create the opportunity to enable them communicate, which is very, very key, and I know that was emphasized. You create the opportunity for them to learn social skills. You create the opportunity for them to be able to access applications that may not necessarily be very high cost, but allow them to access technologies that are affordable and that are available. And I know there was a lot of discussions around Google on the applications that you can actually download, and of course with Microsoft also the technologies within Microsoft that are easily available. Yes, so that's a good discussion. Yes.
And based on what is realistic, then a question would arise from that is what is really needed, because as we were walking to the booth here, we are talking about most time designers design without, yes, they have designed for a particular disability, but have they really put this product to test it with people who are actually going to use it?
Yes.
So what do you have to say about designers and developers developing applications and hope at the end of the day they will be able to use it, and not really having the user sort of centricism is missing?
Yes.
What would you have to say about that?
The issue of co-design and co-creation is very, very key. And involving persons with disabilities across board, where you're creating applications for a specific domain or category of persons with disability, you need to involve them. And where you're creating technology that is universal, then you also have to involve them, because remember, these are cross-cutting issues, and it's a cross-disability issue. And so when you're designing a user-centered approach, and I know we also discussed it in the panel, and also bringing together stakeholders who cut across, the way you bring in caregivers, you bring in persons with disability, you bring in researchers, professionals working with persons with disability, so that and now the designers. So when you bring them to a platform and to a round table together, it means that the views of everyone will be taken into consideration, and you will be able to create a technology that can actually be used by the target market or the user that you are targeting, so that you are not just enhancing accessibility, but you're also enhancing inclusion, and you're bringing everyone together. Yes, which is a key component of co-creation.
Very interesting there. And as you're doing your introduction, you said you are a board member with the United Disabled Persons of Kenya, which is the umbrella body for persons with disabilities in Kenya. From that standpoint, you might have more information than people who are watching and listening to us right now. What is available, even as we're talking about innovating, even as we're talking about building, what is currently available that different persons with disabilities, that they can access?
I would say that I would give examples. Like technologies that can be used by persons who are blind, or visually impaired. Well, we find that there are quite a number of technologies, whether it comes to orbit readers or the braille machines, whether it comes to applications that they can actually download and use. When it comes to persons with disability, we find persons with autism and other neurodiverse disabilities, we find that there are also a lot of applications, communication applications that you can actually download. And they are available on YouTube. They are available on Google app. And well, not so much is available locally.
Yeah.
I would say not most of it is local.
Yeah.
The innovations are not actually originating from us. Most of them are originating from the developed nations.
Yeah.
We find that with the onset of, with the growth of the internet, at least now we can be able to access most of those applications.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And there is a very valid point you're making there that
Yes.
Yes, the products might be available,
Yes.
but they are not locally based, or
Yes,
they
yes.
are not locally built. They are products from abroad.
Yes, yes.
Then the question of affordability comes in.
Yes.
And Kenya currently, we are going through the process of the Finance Bill 2023,
Yes.
and one of the propositions is an increase in excise duty
Yes,
on imported mobile phones, and mobile phones are one of the biggest tools that allow persons with disabilities to access
Yes, yes.
to access services and digital accessibility in the longest run. What do you think would be the detriment of persons with disabilities not being able to afford
Yes.
these technologies, but also what can be done so that persons with disabilities can be able to afford them?
My thinking is the devices and technologies are already pricey.
Yeah.
So increasing the excise duty will also, of course, increase the price further.
Yeah.
And of course, it will put persons with disability off the ability to be able to purchase these technologies like it has been in the past. And the mobile industry has been used by everyone. You know, it cuts across, and the mobile technology is very, very ideal for persons with disability because it's an enabler. You know, if you remove this technology, then that means that this child cannot be able to learn on a classroom setup with others.
Yeah.
So it's not just a need; it's like a basic. It's a basic need, you know. It's a basic need when it comes to a person with disability, because it is going to enable them to be able to access services. It will enable them to access education. It will enable them to access learning materials. It will enable them to learn. And once it's removed, then that means that person cannot be able to learn on an equal basis or cannot access those technologies anymore. So I believe that when the price becomes unaffordable, it's very detrimental to persons with disability. So the urge is that this is a space that probably we need to protect. Yes. And we need to keep advocating. Yes.
And going forward, even beyond the conference, what are some of the things that you would pick from such a conference, and also going beyond the conference, which are some of the things that you would say that these are the easily doables, as we are, I would call them hanging fruits, as even we continue to reach for higher fruits? What are some of your takeaways from this conference, and some of the things that you have said to do when you go back to what you do on a daily?
It has been a good networking platform. That is one, meaning that you can be able to reach out to persons you've met at the conference and also discuss further. Like now, we can discuss with Microsoft further. We can discuss with Madam Veronica from Namibia further. And one of the key things we were discussing is having professionals trained locally, you know, to be able to use the easily available materials that can be used for teaching, because sometimes locally people don't really understand. People are looking out for the high tech, you know,
rather than the iPhones.
Rather than the quick materials that are available. So that is one take home, that we need to learn from each other, and at the same time we need to look for opportunities, even if it's online opportunities, from best practices from our brothers across Africa, and adopt them, because we cannot necessarily reinvent the wheel. So that is one of the quick wins. Second is also I would of course be able to discuss further with parents on the technologies that are available. I was actually taking just small notes that I'll be able to share also with the parents. And I know one of my colleagues who is an autistic self-advocate, Karen, was actually spot on. She was actually live on Facebook. So meaning that a big audience has watched the discussions that were happening, and especially the discussions that were happening even within our panel. So they are interventions that sometimes we have not thought so much about, but interventions that are very close to us and that are quick wins. And also thinking about how do we break the barriers to inclusion of persons with disability. So coming here also, it's a call for advocacy. That it means that we are not there yet, but we need to continue raising awareness. We need to continue advocating more, and we need to continue also looking at the smart ways that we can get the quick wins, Yes.
Interesting there. Yes. And to a parent who is looking for a support group, to a child with on the neurodiverse from the neurodiverse community or on the neurodiverse spectrum, what do you tell them as we're winding up?
I would say that the best place to be, is within a support system. And sometimes it's difficult for you because you are outside a support system. And one of our organization, Different Talented Society of Kenya, among many others probably existing around you, organizations of persons with disability existing just probably where you are, you can always check out for them. But our organization, Different Talented Society of Kenya, is a national organization, and it's an organization that brings together autistic persons and their caregivers and professionals working with them. So it's a good place to be. You get to network. You get also to get to be within a support system where you can be able to share ideas. You can be able to get information. You can be able to also get opportunities even for empowerment. Yes.
Interesting there. I hope I've not looked out any view that you might be having.
Probably what I always tell caregivers is, are you well? Because I know both autistic persons and their caregivers face a lot of stigma and cultural and attitudinal barriers existing within the society. So for your child to be able to thrive, it means that you must be okay yourself. So it's a call to action. Like, are you well? Are you okay? Do you really understand the condition of your child, all the nature of disability? Have you gone for assessments? And are you ready and well to take care of your child? You know, so you need to join a support group. You need also to be keen on your mental wellness because it's one of the key challenges. And also try to break the barriers around you, barriers of stigma, by also speaking out and also communicating and telling those around you about the persons with disability, about the condition of your child, discussing about it, and also ensuring that they are accommodated. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Madam Alice, for making time. And we hope in upcoming engagements as well, we'll be able to sit down and have such educating and informative conversations.
Thank you so much, Alan. Thank you. It's been my pleasure being here.
All right.
Yes, thank you.
And as with all the other guests that I've been able to host today, I have been picking out a single thing that I conclude with. And what I'm picking from Madam Alice is, are you well? Because it takes a lot as a caregiver, as she puts it, it takes a lot for you to be able to go through the social stigmatization and also the fatigue. We will not say that it's not tiring. It's tiring, and it's an awesome job that you all do. But are you well? Are you taking time also to take care of yourself? This is a question that you must answer. And if you might be in need of getting in touch with Madam Alice, we'll be able to input her contact details of how you can get in touch with DTSK, and so that you can be able to find a support group, because here I say it is very important for you to belong to a support group, that a group of people that understand you, a group of people that are willing to listen to you, and a group of people that are not going to stigmatize or discriminate you in any way whatsoever. That's what we've been able to have with Madam Alice Mundia. We're going to be going back to the conference room and still another participant. Probably, I hope it will be a moderator as well, and bring them here and we have a conversation with them as well. Don't you go away.